I'm sorry, Mr. Singh, I'll have to interrupt you there because I don't want to venture into that territory, because the moment you talk about root causes and about Jessica, I think there's a justification that's coming into that. Rahul Bose, when you hear something like that, you realize that this is a much, much deeper problem that we're facing here.
Yes, there's no question. I don't know what Mr. Singhal means about his version of democracy, but I believe that we have laws in this country. And if you break the law, you must be brought to book. I don't think the girls were breaking the law. I don't think the people in the school were breaking the law. Nidhi, so much has been made in the last year about external terrorism and the threat to the country, and how what terrorists want to do is instill fear so that we change our way of life. This is internal terrorism. There is no question about the fact that they are trying to instill fear to make people change their lives to what they want them to be. I am all for a complete national civil movement starting from tomorrow, where we actually set a date, and in cities across the country we come out on the streets and we say, this has to stop. Then what is left? External terrorism, internal terrorism. Give us. The state, and I mean the entire state, is desperately weak-kneed. Obviously we don't have the implementation of laws. Everything is politicized. There is a sense of pussyfooting around this stuff. Who gets trapped in all this? Girls in a pub, children in a school. This is at the roots of democracy.
Rahul, how do you think you can get civil society more involved in something like this? Because we've seen this happen too often now. You've had what's happened in Karnataka, but Maharashtra is a case where it's happened repeatedly. We saw what happened to the bar girls. We've seen what's happened to pubs in Bangalore before as well. How do you get civil society to wake up and get more involved?
Look, we have two weapons of power as ordinary citizens. One is the vote, and the second is numbers. Numbers and votes translate into the same thing. We have to build the culture of protest. The time has come. And if you have 5 million people sitting outside the Prime Minister's residence, I want to know which Prime Minister of this country is going to ignore that. You know what happened at the Gateway of India, and that was a spontaneous response to a totally different event of anger. But I'm saying this is the same thing. You have political indifference, you have weak-kneed application of laws, you get on the streets, and that's all we can do. But I'm telling you that the power of putting people out there is huge, and it's underestimated and it's under-tried in this country. That's all we can do without breaking the law.
Mr. Singhal, I'd like you to respond to that point that Rahul Bose made. Externally we face, and internally also, the threat of terrorism, but there is a cultural terrorism that groups like the Bajrang Dal, the VHP, and are promoting within India.
Now look, don't add Bajrang Dal into this. There is no role of Bajrang Dal in this, no role of RSS or BJP. It's a set of people who've done it on their own. They happen to be Hindus, they happen to say Sri Ram Ki Jai, which is most shameful. They cannot go about saying Sri Ram Ki Jai and then commit all that kind of hooliganism. Now that is another point. But I'll go a step further and say, let there be a referendum of what should be the yardstick of progress in this country. What should be should these pubs become public all over the country? Are they so beneficial for us? Or is it in keeping with our culture? The entire ad movements, advertisements being carried out in the television, they're deculturalizing us. There is this Axe ad of deodorants. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting to see that ad. The ad of Cadbury, which humiliated, which actually.